let's explore the forgotten corners of our planet. Socotra Island in Yemen is a place that feels like it broke away from the Earth millions of years ago and decided to evolve on its own terms. Here, you'll see dragon's blood trees, thick, umbrella-like creatures with blood-red sap, and ancient civilizations used for medicine and dyes. Over a third of the island's plants exist nowhere else on Earth. It feels like an alien world, and for good reason. Its isolation created life forms that challenge our understanding of biology. What draws us here isn't just curiosity. It's that deep psychological thrill of witnessing something that rewrites what we thought was possible. Lake Natron in Tanzania looks like a portal to another dimension. Its surface, stained deep red by salt-loving microorganisms, is so alkaline it can literally calcify animals. Birds that fall into the lake are often found preserved like statues. And yet, flamingos come here in the thousands to breed, immune to what kills others. It's haunting, surreal, and unforgettable. The lake triggers a primal fascination with life and death, two things we instinctively fear, but also can't look away from. There's a hole in the ground in Turkmenistan that has been burning for over 50 years. They call it the door to hell. A Soviet drilling operation went wrong, releasing natural gas. To stop the spread, they set it on fire, thinking it would burn for a few days. That was 1971. Today, it still burns. Flames dance across the crater's rim, illuminating the desert night. It's terrifying, yet mesmerizing. It satisfies that strange part of our minds that is drawn to destruction, as long as we can watch from a safe distance. Deep in the Philippine Sea, Aogashima Island looks like nature folding in on itself. It's a volcanic island, but what makes it rare is that it's a volcano inside another volcano. People live here, fewer than 200 of them. There's no airport, no big port, just a small community inside one of the most geologically unstable zones on Earth. And yet, it's calm, green, beautiful. The mind is pulled by contradictions, chaos and peace existing in the same breath. In Arizona's desert lies a hidden masterpiece called Antelope Canyon. Formed by flash floods carving through sandstone over thousands of years, this slot canyon seems to breathe light. As the sun shifts, beams fall into the canyon's narrow hallways, turning the walls gold, pink, and violet. The silence inside is spiritual. You don't just visit Antelope Canyon, you feel it. Scientists say the emotion we call awe can lower stress and boost creativity. And standing in this narrow passage of swirling stone, you understand why. Now imagine the surface of another planet, glowing neon, steaming acid, and colors that don't even seem natural. That's the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia. It's one of the hottest places on Earth, with temperatures regularly crossing 120 degrees. And yet, it's alive. Sulfur springs bubble, salt pans shimmer, gases rise from the ground like ghosts. It's beauty born from hostility, and the mind is drawn to that contrast. Danger and wonder, side by side. In western Turkey, Pamukkale looks like a frozen waterfall. But it's not ice, it's calcium deposits, shaped over millennia by mineral-rich hot springs. Pools cascade down in shimmering terraces, each one a warm bath with healing properties. Locals call it the Cotton Castle. It's a place where time and water carved a masterpiece. What keeps us fascinated is the sensory trick. It looks cold, but feels warm. That contradiction pulls the mind deeper. Hitachi Seaside Park in Japan isn't a rare place because it's remote. It's rare because it constantly transforms. In spring, millions of baby blue flowers, called nemophila, cover the hills like a sky fallen to earth. In autumn, red kochia balls make the landscape look like a planet from a dream. Every season, it reinvents itself. We are wired to chase novelty. When something changes often, it stays new to the brain. Hitachi is novelty in floral form. Mount Roraima stands at the intersection of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana. It doesn't rise, it floats, or at least it seems to. a flat-topped mountain cloaked in clouds, surrounded by vertical cliffs. It was the inspiration for Arthur Conan Doyle's The Lost World. At the summit, there are species found nowhere else, isolated for millions of years. Psychologically, it taps into the fantasy we all share, that untouched worlds still exist, places science hasn't mapped, stories we haven't finished writing. The Wave in Arizona is so rare that only 20 people a day are allowed to hike to it. It looks like someone poured paint over stone. Red, orange, cream swirls curve across the landscape like frozen waves. It's one of the most photographed sights on the earth, and yet very few get to see it in person. Why? Because of scarcity. When access is limited, value skyrockets. Your brain sees it not just as a place, but as a prize. In British Columbia, Canada, there's a lake that turns into polka dots. Spotted Lake contains highly concentrated minerals, and during summer, water evaporates to reveal perfectly round, colorful spots. Some are yellow, others green, brown, or white, each color tied to a different mineral. Indigenous people consider it sacred. Our brains crave patterns, especially unexplained ones. And when nature creates perfect circles, it feels like we're being shown something we weren't supposed to understand. The Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia is the world's largest salt flat and one of the flattest places on Earth. After a rain, it transforms into a mirror so perfect, the horizon disappears. You can walk across it and feel like you're walking through the sky. It's not just visually stunning, it messes with your perception. That's why we remember it. Our minds attach themselves to places that challenge reality. Beneath Paris, behind nondescript doors, lie the Catacombs, a network of tunnels holding over 6 million skeletons. Originally limestone quarries, they became ossuaries when the city's cemeteries overflowed. Bones line the walls in careful patterns. Skulls stare from the shadows. It's chilling and yet deeply human. We're drawn to it because it forces us to confront mortality, but from a safe distance. Death, organized and silent. In Ukraine, a railway track cuts through a forest and has, over time, become wrapped in a perfect green arch. Locals call it the Tunnel of Love. Couples walk it together, and legends say their love will last forever. It's beautiful, yes, but it's also symbolic. We're captivated by places that merge the real with the mythical. And this one literally feels enchanted. In the remote Patagonian region of Chile lies the Marble Caves, giant caverns carved into marble by thousands of years of wave erosion. Their walls ripple with shades of blue, reflecting the color of the glacial lake that surrounds them. You can only reach them by boat. That inaccessibility adds to their allure. Psychologically, we reward difficulty. When something takes effort, it becomes more meaningful. China's Red Beach isn't made of sand. It's made of a plant called Suaita salsa that turns bright red in autumn. From above, it looks like the ocean is bleeding. But it's peaceful, soft, and full of migrating birds. Your senses clash. Red usually means warning, but here it means beauty. That tension makes it unforgettable. Australia's Lake Hillier is bright pink. Scientists think it's due to algae, but no one knows for sure. It's surrounded by lush green forest and deep blue sea, so the contrast is shocking. And the mystery lingers. We're drawn to the unexplained. When something breaks the rules of logic, our brains don't just want to look, they want to solve. Fingal Cave in Scotland looks like it was built by gods. Perfectly hexagonal basalt columns line its walls, formed by lava cooling in symmetrical patterns. Inside, waves echo off the stone, creating natural music. The symmetry, the sound, the scale, it's like nature created a cathedral. And deep down, we feel reverence, in the same way we would in a human-built monument. Zhangjiajie in China is a forest of stone. Pillars of sandstone rise into the mist like natural skyscrapers. They were the inspiration for Pandora in the movie Avatar. But the real place is even stranger. You can take a glass elevator up one of the spires. It's terrifying and exhilarating. Fiction becomes fact, and that's a kind of magic we can't resist. Near Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula, the ice caves of Mutnovsky glow with a light that looks otherworldly. Warm volcanic steam meets snow and ice, creating translucent tunnels. The result is a cave lit from within, blue, gold, and white. It's cold, but the light makes it feel alive. We remember what stimulates multiple senses at once. This does exactly that. The chocolate hills in the Philippines look like someone dropped giant truffles across the landscape. Over 200 of them dot the terrain, perfectly shaped. In the dry season, they turn brown, hence the name. No one knows how they formed, and that makes them stick in your memory. Because when nature imitates dessert and science shrugs, you don't forget. In Poland, a pine forest grows in strange curves. About 400 trees are bent at 90 degrees at the base before straightening upward. No one knows why. Was it human intervention? A snowstorm? Gravity? Theories exist, but no clear answer. And we love that, because unsolved mysteries lodge themselves in the brain like a riddle waiting for resolution. On Vadoo Island, in the Maldives, the beach glows blue at night. Bioluminescent plankton react to motion in the water, lighting up like stars when waves crash or footsteps fall. It's real but feels impossible. You don't just see it, you interact with it. And anything that blurs the line between you and nature becomes personal. Just off Mauritius, there's an optical illusion that looks like an underwater waterfall. It's caused by sand and silt slipping down the edge of a coastal shelf. From the air, it's breathtaking. Your eyes believe it's a vertical drop beneath the sea. Our minds crave the feeling of being tricked in a beautiful way. This delivers. In Kenya, there's a hotel where giraffes casually walk up and stick their heads through the breakfast window. It's called Giraffe Manor. You don't just visit animals here, you share your morning routine with them. It feels like a fantasy, and that's why people remember it. Because they became part of the story, not just a spectator. Lake Baikal in Russia is the oldest, deepest freshwater lake on Earth. In winter, the ice freezes so clear it looks like crystal, with fractures running deep beneath your feet. Some parts sing when you step on them. At night, the stars reflect on the frozen surface. It's cold, silent, and cosmic. We're drawn to age, to mystery, to places that feel older than us. And finally, there's a place you're not allowed to visit. North Sentinel Island, part of India's Andaman chain, is home to an indigenous tribe that has rejected all contact with the outside world. They live as they have for thousands of years, untouched by modern civilization. Visitors are forbidden, not just to protect them, but to protect you. The islanders see outsiders as threats, and their immune systems are vulnerable to modern disease. This place is off limits, and that makes it unforgettable. Because what we can't have, what we're told to stay away from, that is what we obsess over most. And so, in this journey around the rarest places on Earth, we've gone beyond geography. We've explored emotion, curiosity, awe, fear, wonder, the psychology of what makes us feel alive. These places are rare, yes, but more importantly, they make us feel rare.